So, good day na naman po sa ating lahat. We are back. Yan. So, medyo mamimiss natin ng konti si Tutor Arlene, no? Because she is not yet around dito sa Pangasinan. Kaya naman po, hopefully, next na meeting natin or next episode natin, kasama natin si Tutor Arlene. Yan. Pero, she's watching. Hi, Tutor Arlene, and also to Tutor JJ and to Tutor Ronald Cabigo ng aming pong program head. Yan. So, we are still in the finding the answers to the research questions. Week 2 na tayo no, ng ating inquiries, investigations, and immersion. And again, I'm your tutor Tina together with tutor Arlene. Let's begin with our research journey. Yan. So, congratulations sa ating mga masasaliksik na tuty of the week. Yan. So, ito yung mga naging masaliksik na tuty natin ng week 1. So, we have Darlene and Ninya again. They are consistently watching ang ating bawat episodes ng Inquiries, Investigations, and Immersion. And hopefully, mas dumami pa ang ma-reach ng ating bawat episode. So, we have the saliksik of the day. Ito yung ating, kumbaga, parang info of the day natin. So, are you familiar with the Nobel Peace Prize? Yan. So, Filipinos are actually proud sa isa sa ating pambato, no, when it comes to having this title. So, the first Nobel Peace Prize, kanino kaya? So, dahil nga sa kayo ay nasa field ng research, masasaliksik nyo kaya for today kung sino ang kauna-unahang Nobel Peace Prize na awardees natin? Sino kaya sila? So you can comment sa ating comment section kung sino ang ating answers. Yan. So hi po sa ating mga viewers. Keep on sharing pa rin po para naman po mas marami pa po ang ma-reach ng ating episode for today. Okay, so i-reveal na natin, no? It was on 1901 wherein Frederick Passy and Henry Dunant, yan, sila ang na-awardan itong first Nobel Peace Prize. Kaya dito, no, ayan, so nagbabalik po ang inyong tutor Tina, no? I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties and I'm so sorry kasi if you can hear, no, napakalakas po ng ulan ngayon dito sa Pangasinan, specifically dito po sa aming municipality. So hopefully later titila na rin po siya, no? Okay, so going back, yeah, so it was this recent naman na sa 2021 wherein the Philippines are proud na talaga naman meron din po tayong pambato in terms of the Nobel Peace Prize. Yan, in the name of the Rappler CEO and Executive Editor Maria Ressa. Yan, siya naman po ay known dahil po sa kanyan po talaga naman na walang kinikilingan, sabi nga daw, at walang pinoprotektahan na kanyang mga insights in terms of our government. Yan, so doon po niya actually nakuha yung kanyang Nobel Peace Prize. Yan. So, she is actually promoting po kasi yung information, if you are aware of the Rappler, no? But we will not go further doon sa Rappler na yan. So, ito po ang ating mga Nobel Peace Prize na mga grantees natin. And this is our saliksik of the day. Oh, pwede rin po kayo, no? Mga dear researchers, next meeting or next episode natin, pwede rin po namin ma-feature ang inyong mga saliksik of the day. Just PM us, no? Kung meron kayong sa tingin ninyo na napakaganda nga naman na saliksik na pwede natin ibigay sa day na yon, pwede nyo po yan i-comment or pwede nyo po kaming i-PM ni Tutor Arlene at pipili kami ng mapapalad na ma-feature namin ang kanilang output sa saliksik of the day. And so for our learning objectives for today, we have two. Now, first, we need to analyze and interpret data and compose themes from collected data. And I believe you are now ready para umpisahan na natin ang ating mga learning objectives na makamit for today. As you can see, I have here words. Yan. Meron tayong 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9 na words dito, no? Iba-iba. And this is what you are going to do. We have groupings. Yan, i-group nyo itong mga words na to as to group 1 ba sila, group 2 or group 3 according sa kung ano sa tingin nyo ang groupings nila. O yan, di ba medyo mahirap? Paano kaya po namin, Tutor Tina, i-group ito? Yan, so take a look, analyze these words. And then look for their commonalities. Ano ba yung pagkakapare-parehas nila? Kung ano sa tingin nyo yung magkakapare-parehas or sa tingin nyo included sa iisang category, you write it in specific group. And then magiging group 1 siya, group 2, and group 3. Pwede po kayo mag-comment sa ating comment section, no? Yan, so isulat natin or i-comment natin sa ating comment section kung ano sa tingin natin ng group 1, group 2, at group 3. Yan. So, good afternoon sa ating mga viewers, specifically sa ating mga grade 12 at mga na-feature na mga masasaliksik na tuties natin, no? At saka mga masasaliksik na paaralan. Yan. So, hello po ulit. Good afternoon. Yan. So, meron na tayong nakita dito, no? Blue, tan, and teal. Nilagay nila sa group 1. Yan. So, how about the others kaya? Ano pa kaya ang pwede natin i-groupings dito, no? So, tignan natin. Yan. So, same answer. Yan. So, ang blue, i-group natin dito. How about yung pretty? Yan. Tignan natin na kung magtutugma itong magiging answers dito sa ating screen sa mga answers na ipoprovide niyo sa ating comment section. Yan. So, pretty. Yan. Ako. Bitter. Ang tan kaya, saan to? Yan. So, tignan natin anong kagrupo niya. Okay. Tan, blue. How about dance? Okay. Teal. What is teal kaya? Teal is actually a color, no? Yung somewhat na blue into green na mga hues natin. Doon siya. Then, serve. Okay. So, meron tayong mga answer dito, no? Na talaga namang titignan natin later kung tama. Long. Saan kaya ito kabilang? And also, swinging. Okay, so here is now the groupings. Tignan natin, no? So, according to Percy, yan. So, tama si Percy. Meron siyang same answer as the answer presented here. So, ganun din po kay Christine Tobia. Yan. So, hello sa ating mga learner, researchers. Okay, sa group 1, ano kayang commonalities nila? Ano kayang pwede natin ibigay na category dito? Yan. It can be a noun because these are actually name of the colors or color itself. Yan. Pwede natin yan sabihin na ito ang kanilang category. What about group 2? Anong category sila? They can considered as adjectives natin or those na nag-describe. Yan. Very good. Yan. So, napakagagaling ng ating mga learner researchers, no? And then also sa group 3 natin, we have the verb or those action words, no? Dance, verb, swinging. Yan. So, eto po ay mga categories in which from those pool of words na nakita natin kanina nung wala man lang tayong ka-clue aside from tinignan at inanalyze natin maigi yung kanilang mga uri at kung sa tingin natin ay alin ang mga kaparehas nila. Yan. So, dahil mahuhusay kayo, at nagawa ninyo ng tama yan, congratulations. So what we have done actually is what we call categorization or we categorize. What is categorization? Categorize. In here, we are actually sorting it according to the kind or their type. Saan ba sila akma? Saan sila kabilang? Saang grupo ba sila nababagay? Just like for you, no? Sa mga learner researchers natin, if you are watching, no? At kayo ay marami or grupo kayo dyan, how are you going to categorize yourselves? You can be categorized according to your gender or your sex, like female and male. Yan. So, nakategorize natin. And also, pwede rin natin categorize according to the age. Like, ang age bracket nyo is from 14 years old to 17 or 17 to 19. Yan. So, pwede din natin i-categorize into that. And also, these are actually based on their classifications. Ano bang classification meron sila? Yan. So, in here, sa ginawa natin na actually, ito ang mga magiging key natin in what we call theming. Ano ba yung theming natin? It's not theming, it's theming. So, ano ba yung theming na tinutukoy natin? Yan. So, yan. So, tama si Jamela, no? Pwede rin siya sa section. And then, the process of categorizing patterns or themes from data. So, ito yung process, When we are talking of the process, it's theming. But when we are talking of themes, na kung saan ito yung i-theming natin later on, these are now ideas or categories naman. So, that emerge from grouping of lower level data points. As if you can still remember ang ating first episode for quarter 4, no? Kaya sabi ko, keep on watching ang ating weekly episode so that talaga namang magiging familiar kayo sa lahat ng dinidiscuss namin ni Tutor Arlene. Yan. So, in here, from those group na napakarami, pwede natin siyang i-subgroup according to their commonalities. Ito ngayon yung theming na tinatawag natin. And example, tignan natin dito sa question, no? Kumusta man ang inyong general mathematics subject? I do not know what specific dialect is this. Siguro parang Bisaya, no? Yan. So, translation, how are we going to translate it in English? How do you find your general mathematics subject? So, here are the sample responses. Yan. So, response 1, 2, and 3. Yan. Hindi ko po babasahin na yung, I do not know kasi the pronunciation, baka magkamali ako sa dialect na ito, no? So, I find some exercises a little harder because we don't have a textbook. I find some exercises a little harder because we do not have a textbook and we do not have books to review. Yan, so pwede makikita nyo, no? Medyo pare-parehas yung answers nila. So, ano bang commonalities ngayon ng mga responses ng respondents natin? Yan, so dito na kasi papasok yung theming, you categorize, and then later on you will code it. Yan, so yan, pwede tayong mag-comment, no? Translate Tagalog to English, yan. So, oo, no? Pwede kasi, di ba, if you are going to have an ano, di ba, kapag kayong mga native natin talaga or yung talaga namang hindi masyadong bihasa sa Tagalog, no? Talaga ang answer nila yung mother tongue nila. Kaya ito, nakita natin yung sample ng mga responses, no? In their mother tongue talaga. Yan. So, we can categorize this actually based from the table of responses of grade 11 learners in Buluan National High School. Yan. So, eto po yung theme na pwede nating ma-come up from this. So, learning resources. Bakit learning resources? Ano ba yung commonalities dito sa tatlo? As you can see, they both specify yung textbook, yung kakulangan sa textbook, no? Wala silang textbook, wala silang learning resource, wala silang learning material. Therefore, ang commonalities nila is on the learning resources or in the learning materials. Yan. So, ito yung pwede natin gawing tip. As simple as that. Ganun lang. What if? Yan. So, gagawa tayo ng sarili naman nating themes. Yan. So, para mas maintindihan natin kung paano tayo gagawa, alamin natin ang mga steps kung paano ang process. Step 1. Familiarization. Yan. So, paano nga ba itong step 1 natin? Of course, you need to be familiar with all the data that you have gathered sa different na inyong mga respondents. Kailangan kasi alamin mo muna eh. Hindi ka makakapag-arrange ng mga responses nila according to the classifications if you are not yet familiar. Baka kasi group mo siya doon sa maling grupo. So, you need to be familiar with the responses. Then, coding. Paano naman itong coding na to? It's as if you give them a code. Katulad kanina, group 1, group 2, group 3. Bibigyan natin ng codes according sa gusto ninyo na ibigay na codes. Let's say, for example, code number 1 is labeled as A1. Then, the next code, A2, and so on. Or age 1, age 2, o kaya naman sa group natin, let's say, female, male. That's how you are coding, no? Depende pa rin yan sa kung ano ang gusto mong code na gagamitin. And then, next is step 3 natin. Yan. So, generating themes. So, how are you going to generate a theme? Or generate ng themes natin. So, katulad ng ginawa natin kanina, look for the commonalities. What is common dito sa napakaraming responses na to? Because you know what, no? Kapag gagawa talaga kayo ng research at qualitative research ang gagawin nyo, specifically, you will do thematic analysis. Napakadami, as in napakadami ng mga responses. Pwedeng pare-pareha sila or sa dami ng inyong respondents, lahat yon ay iba-iba. So, napakaganda na marunong kayong mag-categorize or mag-generate ng themes out of those codes na nagawa ninyo. Again, generating themes, ito na yung ibibigay mo kung ano sa tingin mo yung category nila. Next is reviewing themes. Why do we need to review? Yun na nga nag-generate na tayo ng themes. Bakit pa natin siya kailangang i-review? It's because, as you can see in the field of research, hindi pwede yung okay na, sapat na. Dapat you go beyond the limit. Dapat kung merong 100%, lampasan mo yung 100% accuracy. ng inyong research because that is one of the qualities of a good and an excellent research. Yan. So, dapat review. Walang masama kung i-review mo yung themes na nag-gather mo. You are not rushing. Kasi ang common na ano natin, no, nagmamadali tayo. Therefore, nagkakaroon ng errors doon sa ating mga data. Kaya dapat you review it first before you come up with conclusions and then generalizations later. Yan, so medyo pumaulan talaga dito. No? I'm so sorry kung medyo naririnig sa aking background. No? Yan, so hindi natin mapipigilan ang nature talaga. Okay, so step number 5. Defining and naming the themes. Eto na yan kanina, no? You have generated the themes already. So, how are you going to name the themes? Katulad kanina, going back, pinangalanan na natin siya as to the learning resources. Yan. So, ganun lang yan. Kung ano yung commonalities, ano yung characteristics nila, you think of a very short na themes na pwede. Like for example, magbabanggit ako ng mga colors, no? Katulad kanina, teal, tan, pink, yellow, green, and blue. How are you going to theme that? That is colors, no? Yan. So, pwede rin tayo kasi we are not promoting brands dito, no? So, medyo mahirap tayong mag-suggest ng mga brands sana. Like yung sa mga cars, di ba? Iba't iba ang brands nila. But anong commonalities nila? They are considered as brand name of cars. O, ganun lang yon. So, ano yung commonalities? You name them. Kailangan maayos para mas madaling maintindihan. And then, writing up. This is the last stage or the last step. What is writing up? This is now arranging all your themes and coming up with the textual representations or analysis of your themes. Explain mo ngayon yung themes na na-come up mo dito sa yung research paper. Hindi lang porket nag-generate ka ng themes, that's it na, tapos na. No, meron pa yan na magra-write ka pa kung paano mo i-explain yung themes na nakalap mo out of those many respondents. Yan. So, remember, tandaan natin ang 6 na steps natin na ito para mas maintindihan natin later on kung paano ang theming. Most especially, no, kasi gagawa talaga kayo ng research at napakaganda, napakahusay ng gumawa ng curriculum natin kasi sa grade 11 and grade 12 na introduce na ang research. So that when you go to college, hindi na kayo mahihirapan at hindi kayo mangangapa kung ano nga ba ang research at kung ano ba ang mga components nito or kung paano nyo gagawin ang research. So to be able to understand what I'm saying here, so let's do learning task number 1. And I believe you are ready, no? So pakikuha lang inyong mga papel at ballpen. And then direction, provide theme or themes for the following data responses. Yan, so mag-create kayo naman mismo ang mag-create ng theme. Okay, going back tayo sa tanong kanina, no? So, how do you find your general mathematics subject? So, eto naman ang mga responses. Yan. So, I want my teacher to tutor me, but I'm ashamed of the class. We want our teacher to give us a copy of the PowerPoint. We want online tutorials such as this, no? Yung E2Live. So, anong commonalities nito? Yan, pwede natin siyang i-comment sa ating comment section. Yan. So, I'll be giving you time. Paano kaya? Ano kayang common? Remember, tandaan yung mga steps na sinabi ko kanina to be able to come up with a concise and short. Yan na talaga namang themes na maka-come up natin. Yan. So, pwede ninyong i-comment, no? Titignan natin later kung tama ba or kaparehas ba ng nakita ninyo or ng themes ninyo etong maka-come up or ma-generate natin na themes. And so, I believe mag-earphone na ako kasi naririnig nyo na masyado yung ulan and na baka hindi nyo na maintindihan si Tutor Tina. Ayan. Okay. Ayan. So, meron na po ba tayong mga answer dyan? Naka-come up na ba tayo sa ating answer? Yan. So, pwede kayo, no? Pwede kayo talaga ditong mag-comment. Kung medyo mahaba yan, so be it. Para makita ko talaga na talaga namang naiintindihan ninyo ang ating episode at bawat tinuturo ni Tutor Tina for today. Okay, let's see. Yan. So, according again to the table of responses of grade 11, we have come up with this theme. Students' preferences to achieve learning. Oh, what do you mean by these students' preferences? Yung gusto nilang mangyari on how they will achieve learning. And so, di ba kayo, bawat isa sa inyo, may iba-iba kayong pamamaraan kung paano ninyo matututunan ng isang bagay na sa tingin ninyong medyo mahirap for you to work independently. So, ito naman, no, kailangan ng tulong ng tutor. Kailangan ng sino ba yung tutor na tinutukoy? Si teacher. Yan. So, kailangan talaga si teacher. Yan. So, napakahusay din talaga ng ating DepEd Itulay, no? Ng ating ICTS talaga na group. Kudos to all of you and to the Department of Education for creating Itulay. Kasi tignan niyo na makikita sa research talaga na lahat sila ay hoping na kailangan talaga nila si teacher para maintindihan yung kanilang mga lessons. And this is now the role of Itulay. Para i-impart namin sa inyo kahit na wala tayo talaga no, nung before pa lang expanded face-to-face, no? Yan, nabibigay namin ang mga pangangailangan pa rin ng ating mga learners. Okay, so yes, responses po nila. Okay, so meron tayong mga answers dito, no? Yan, so number 2, ito naman ang ating data. Tignan natin. I have no time to review at home because I am working. I find it hard to understand because I stopped schooling long time ago. One day in a week is not enough to handle all the modules. Yan. So, ano naman yung commonalities kaya nitong mga responses na to? As you can see, no, ang qualitative research, it requires really ang mga researchers to have the comprehension na talaga namang i-interpret bawat responses ng ating mga respondents. Kasi, tignan niyo yung sample lang natin dito, no? Napaka iba-iba na hindi mo alam kung hindi ka talaga mag-a-analyze maigi, hindi mo alam kung ano ang magiging themes mo dito. So, eto ang kagandahan ng talaga namang nagbabasa kayo ng mga sample deck, ng mga research manuscripts or yung paper itself para may idea kayo at magkaroon kayo ng knowledge on how to interpret data and how to have themes or create themes from pool of responses. Yan. So, ano kaya sa tingin ninyo? Yan ang ating mga or ang ating theme. Yan. So since hinahabol natin ng time, i-reveal na natin. Okay, situations that hamper students to achieve learning. Ito naman ngayon yung mga masasabi natin no na mga this can be a reason or kaya naman sa tingin nila is yung mga situation na kung saan nandoon sila na pumipigil sa kanila to achieve learning, no? Yan, so sabi dito kasi walang time, nagwo-work. Kadalasan, no, ito ang nai-encounter namin lalo na kapag ka-distribution of modules. Yan, so hindi po lahat is nakakakuha since some of them are working and ginagawa talaga nilang modules nila during night time. And kudos to the students na ganun ang mentality. Despite the fact na nahihirapan sa work, they still pursue on answering their modules. Yan. So, good job tayo for task 1. And you are now considered as a task 1 completer. Yeah? So, what we have are actually yung tinatawag din natin na data interpretation. So, aside from doon sa tinatawag natin na data theming or theming, here comes now interpretation. From those themes, you will now interpret it. That is data interpretation, which is the process of using diverse analytical methods to review data and arrive at relevant conclusions. So the reason behind why we are conducting research is because we want to have answers to different questions. And we want to have solutions doon sa mga different problems natin. And this is now how are you going to interpret yung mga nakalap mong data to be able to give solution or answers doon sa hinahanap mong problems. Yan. So, we have steps also in the data interpretation. So, paano nga ba? Katulad kanina, may 6 tayong steps. So, how about this? So, step 1, assemble the information you will need. Katulad din kanina, no? Dapat you will be familiar. So, dito naman, assemble natin. How are you going to assemble that? Dapat dito, sa unang step pa lang, lahat ng mga responses ng respondents mo, binasa mo maigi with comprehension. Iba kasi yung reading lang sa reading with comprehension. Yan. So, reading with comprehension ang kailangan natin in the field of research. Yan. So, assemble nyo muna. Then, develop natin ang findings. Out of those assembled na mga informations, no, anong findings ang makukuha mo? Then, develop conclusions. So, as you look for the findings, nakita mo na yung mga findings, nakita mo yung mga relevant talaga ng findings, how are you going to come up with the conclusions? This is now on the step 3. And for the last step, you develop recommendations. As you can see, no, itong step natin sa data interpretation is actually a continuation of the different parts ng ating research or yung mga tinatawag na natin na data analysis, interpretation, and data presentation, analysis, and interpretation. Depende yan sa format na gagamitin ng school ninyo at depende rin yan sa kung ano ang format na ibibigay ng inyong mga research teachers. Yan. So, but still, meron tayong findings, conclusions, and recommendations. Okay, so example natin sa step 1. Assemble the information you'll need. As you can see here, we have table 1 on experiences knowing that you are pregnant. Yan. So, meron tayong mga sample na responses dito. As you can see, meron tayong R1, R2, R3 na nakalagay dyan. Ano ibig sabihin yan? These are actually codes or code names. Hindi tayo pwedeng magbigay ng specific name ng mga respondents natin. That is against the ethics of research na binanggit namin ni Tutor Arlene sa aming mga previous episode nung quarter 3. Yan. So, ito yung mga sample responses. In-arrange natin siya sa table according sa tingin natin kung ano yung magkakagrupo. Yan ang step 1 natin. Next, step 2, develop findings. From those na na-arrange natin na mga responses, paano natin siya ngayon bibigyan ng findings? So, pwedeng all respondents were about fear, worries, and apprehensions. Table 1 showed that emotions that the respondents felt knowing that they were pregnant at an early age. 3 directly blurted out the feeling of fear and the rest indirectly said. Yan. So, pwede nating ibigay ng simple lang. No? So, after na tinatawag natin na presentation comes now the findings. That is step 2. And step 3, conclusions. Yan. So, out of the findings na nakita natin, magbigay na tayo ngayon ng conclusion natin. So, conclusions, yan, these are actually data-based. Pag sabi natin database, based on data, yan. So, baliktarin natin, based on data, lahat dapat dito, meron tayo pinanghahawakan ng mga evidences. You cannot make a conclusion kung wala tayong findings na concrete or wala tayong findings na may evidence. Yan. So, from the data given, the researcher can conclude that fear on how the parents reacted to the shame they brought up, fear of hopelessness that the baby will shatter their future dreams, fear on how they will raise the child knowing that they are incapable of supporting themselves are fears which felt a push to worry, apprehend, and think of the worst need to abort the child. Yan. So, ito yung mga pwedeng ibigay na conclusion natin out of doon sa nakita natin kanina, no, na present natin na findings. Yan. So, napakaganda talaga na ito kasing topic na to medyo sensitive but it's actually a good thing na i-share din natin sa mga learners natin to be able to, hindi dahil gusto natin na maranasan nila ito, but we want you to realize kung ano ang mga possible consequences at mga possible talaga na kahaharapin ninyo kapag kayo ay nagkaroon ng, sabihin na natin, or kayo ay nalihis doon sa gusto ninyo sana na goal. Step 4 rather, develop recommendations. So out of the conclusion that you have gathered or you have crafted, so you can now craft also your recommendations. What are you going to suggest? Yan, that is recommendation. You give suggestion, but not just a simple suggestion. You give a concrete suggestion na makatotohanan, na doable, na sa tingin ninyo ay makakatulong to be able to solve yung problem na nakita ninyo as you go on with your research. So sabi dito, suggested that family counseling will be conducted and schools should promote comprehensive sexuality education to minimize, if not totally hinder, teenage pregnancy. Yan. So, kung familiar kayo, no, meron tayong ginawa na national national seminar or national talaga na lectures on comprehensive sexuality education, because the Department of Education sees also the problem behind doon sa mga maaaga talaga na nagiging pregnant na mga estudyante natin, kasi research says na pabata talaga ng pabata, and hopefully no, kayo bilang mga learner researchers ay makatulong din on how are you going to totally stop. Yan, that is our goal, no? Totally stop teenage pregnancy, kasi napakahirap lalo na sa mga teenager natin, because they are not yet ready for the for another responsibility. Okay, so if we are going to do that, yan, so pwedeng ganito. Using the table on the distribution of respondents, if it is ganito, paano pag ganito na yung given natin, no? Paano natin ito ngayon i-interpret? Yan, so as you can see, Table 2 shows that 61.33% of the respondents are female compared to 38.6, it's the opposite, I'm so sorry, percent of the respondents are male compared to 38.67% na female. So sorry for the nagkamali ako dito. I'm so sorry for that. These are representatives of the current gender distribution of the population in the Philippines. Yeah. Pwede ninyo siya na i-interpret according to the numbers or quantity na makikita nyo dito sa table. Yan. So ito kasi napakasimple lang, no, because we are just dealing with the frequency and the percentage of the sexes, yung male at saka female. Paano pagka medyo marami na, iisa-isahin nyo yan. I'll repeat. Lahat ng nandito sa table ay mahalaga. Dapat alam niyo kung paano niyo siya i-interpret or alam niyo siyang bibigyan ng findings. Yan. To be able to understand kung paano ba ang data interpretation, let's do task 2. Yan. So, ready na ba yung mga papers? Okay, number 1. Using the table below, on the age of the respondents, what can be inferred? Yan. So, tignan natin maigi itong table na pinapakita ni Tutor Tina below. Yan. So, ano pwede maging inference natin dyan? Or what can be inferred? Letter A, that most of the grade 10 students was at their correct age level, which is grade 10. Yan. So, we are dealing with grade 10 students dito, no? Letter B, only 3.6 of the respondent is 18 years old. Or letter C, most of the grade 10 students' age is 16 years old. Yan. So, ano bang pwede nating ma-infer dito from the data? Pwede nating i-comment sa ating comment section. Ayan, so hi sa ating mga kumakapit pa rin ng mga learner researchers at talaga namang kahit na medyo busy, gumagawa ng way para matuto sa ating episode. Okay, so meron na ba tayong mga responses? Titignan natin. Okay, so mukhang nagkakaroon din yata ng delay ang internet connection sa ating ibang lugar, no? Yan, so isa sa talagang technical difficulty natin kapag tayo ay nag-online. Yan, so meron tayong C na sagot. Yan, so meron tayong C din ulit na sagot. Tama kaya sila? Is it letter C? Meron bang maiiba? Yan, so tignan natin. Yan, so halos makikita natin pare-parehas sila talaga ng mga answers that sabi dito, most of the grade 10 students age is 16 years old. Okay, so tignan natin, no? Yung sabi natin kanina, no, best answer. Oh, it's letter B. Only 3.6% of the respondent is 18 years old. So bakit kaya ito ang ginamit natin, no? Only 3.6%. Sabi natin kanina, choose the best answer. So ito yung best answer in the sense na kung makikita natin dito, no, binanggit na natin yung percentage and binanggit natin yung bracket niya. So 18 years old. So ilang percent yan? So 3.6. Pwede rin actually yung letter C, but with the presence of letter B ang pipiliin nating best na answer. Okay, so may letter A tayo, may letter C. Yan. So talaga naman, no, napakahuhusay ng ating mga learner researchers. Number 2, based on the respondent's gender, what can be inferred? Yan. So take a look at the gender naman. A, that most of the grade 10 students are female, most of the grade 10 students are male, or letter C, both A and B. Yan. So, number 2 tayo. Ano kaya sa tingin ninyo ang pwede nating maging sagot? Yan. So, alin ba ang best answer dito sa number 2 natin? Okay. So, gender, in terms of the gender or sex, yan, may C tayo, may letter A. Yan. So, may letter C, may letter A tayo na sagot. Tignan natin kung ano nga ba ang tamang sagot. Okay, it's letter A. So, ano ba ang letter A? That most of the grade 10 students are female. Yan. So, pwede rin natin, no, if we, kung tayo mismo ang gagawa, 78.6% of the total population of the respondents are female. Yan. So, pwede rin natin sabihin ganon. 3. What does quantitative data refer to? A. Graphs and tables. B. Numerical data that could usefully be quantified to help you answer your research question or questions and to meet your objectives. And C. Any data you present in your report. So ano ba ang quantitative data dito? So pwede nating i-comment sa ating comment section. Yan. So ano nga ba ang ating quantitative? Meron tayong B na sagot. Yan. So merong B. Meron pa, no? May nagsasagot pa ng letter A sa number 2. Okay, let's review. Yes, it's letter B. Numerical data that could usefully be quantified. Yan. So sabi nga natin, no, when we are talking of the quantitative data, we are talking about the quantities, numerical graphs, tables in which we can present it to come up with the solution. Number 4. Which of the following theme will best fit the question, what is the most common reason for high school students who enrolled in the open high school? Ayan. So, A, because of the no smoking policy. B, because of no plastic policy. Or letter C, because they are a working student. Yan. So, ano kaya ang best answer dito sa number 4 natin? Yan. So, may nakikita pa akong answer na number 3, no? Yan. So, dito tayo sa number 4. Ano kaya sa tingin ninyo ang correct or best na answer natin dito? Yan. Meron tayong C. Meron tayong sagot na B also. Meron din C. Tignan natin. Yes, correct. Ito ang theme na pwede nating mag-come up. Yan. So, naku, nakikita ko talaga na marunong na kayo na mag-themes. Yan. Number 5. Which statement pertains to thematic analysis of data? A. It involves looking at each case narratives. B. It is used in conjunction with other methods. Or C. It shows the main themes that summarize all the views collected. Which of these kaya ang sa tingin yung best answer? Yan. So, may nakikita pa rin tayo, no? Na letter C. Yan, may letter B tayo sa number 4. About number 5? Yan, may letter C tayo, no? May mga letter C tayo ng mga sagot. Meron bang iba? Yan, so parang puro letter C yung mga sagot natin sa number 5. Let's see if you're all correct. Yes, you are. So, it shows the main themes. Yan. So, thematic analysis is actually a technique, a qualitative analysis na kung saan theming ang ginagawa natin. Katulad ng ginawa natin a while ago. And good job! Kudos sa ating mga magagaling na mga learner researchers na nakakomplete ng ating task 2. Yan. So good job kayo and you deserve a virtual club for doing such a great work. And ayan ako, napakabilis ng oras. Na-unlock na pala natin ang learning objectives natin for today. Now, so meron tayo ngayong additional. To be able to understand better, gusto ko gawin ninyo ito outside or sasabihin na natin gawin ninyo in your extra time, in your most convenient time, no? To be able to analyze kung naintindihan ba natin. Yan, self-assess natin ang ating mga sarili. Kung kaya na ba natin independently without the help of Tutor Tina na gumawa ng themes. Okay, so give your interpretation of the given data in table 3. Write your answer on a separate sheet of paper. Yan. So, ayan ang ating masaliksik task of the week. Yan. So, ready na kayo? Pwede nyong kuhanan ng screenshot ang ating masaliksik task of the week. Suppose a study is conducted to one of the stores in your barangay to determine the factors affecting customer preferences among the residents ages 22 to 60 years old. So the following data were given. Yan. So makikita natin dito, no, ito yung ating data. Yan. So paki-interpret ang data natin. Yan. So ito ang ating masaliksik task of the week. Saan nyo kaya pwedeng isend ang inyong mga outputs or ang inyong mga answers, no? Pwede ninyong gamitin ang link provided below. Isesend ninyo doon at pipili ako ng mafi-feature natin na answers ng masaliksik task of week 2. Yan. So, pakisend, pakipicturean, take a screenshot, take a capture of the photo ng inyong masaliksik task of the week. Okay. Yan. So, looking forward ako sa pasabog na inbox na naman kay Tutor Tina, no, sa dami ng nagsasubmit ng ating mga outputs. Dito natin kasi pipiliin din ang ating mga masasaliksik na researcher at masaliksik na tuties natin sa week 2. Okay. You are considered now a certified masaliksik. Congratulations, our dear learner researcher, for this episode. Yan, so references natin, yan, makikita natin. Ito pa, yan. And ang ating official na module na kung saan ito rin ang gamit ninyo sa inquiries, investigations, and immersions coming from the central office. Yan. Again, together with your tutor Arlene, I am Tutor Tina from the SDO Pangasinan 2, Cristina Formarejo, and Tutor Arlene is Mrs. Arlene Fernandez na papunta siya ng Baguio ngayon kasi ang anak niya ay meron yata recognition sa PMA. Yan.